Fedora Outlier LLC logo animation. Logo is burnt orange, reddish brown. The backdrop is black with light flares that appear then disappear across the screen.
Oh man, there you go.
Hello.
Yeah. And so you cut out at the most opportune time. You said, and the book was endorsed by, and then all of a sudden you
Oh,
was gone. So,
wow. Okay. So I am, we have not even announced it to the world, okay, that our book is endorsed by Les Brown. I'm actually, Amazon sent me a notification that the books is at my house as we speak. So I'm super
what?
excited about that. Yes. So this is my first time even going live and sharing with the world that eight out of sight women, first anthology of women of color sharing their stories, and we was endorsed by Les Brown. Man, they that's priceless to me. So I always tell people, if you have a vision, then believe it, receive it, and activate it. That's what
Mm.
you do.
I remember in high school on our cafeteria wall it said believe, achieve, and succeed. So I
I
am
love it.
definitely with you on that. So the anthology, the book, um, what's kind of the mood? Is everybody in the book motivational, or is it just their story, or how does the book read?
Okay, so each author, each out of sight author, share one chapter of their journey
Mm.
of losing sight and gaining vision. Some of the out of sight authors was born blind. So when people go, how do you lose sight and gain vision? Well, you can lose sight and gain vision. You can lose sight in life, you know, but it's the gaining vision for me. That's a game changer. So I love it. We each share a story of how we lost sight
Mm.
and and gain vision. So I serve as chapter one. So if you want to know a little more about my upbringing and my childhood, trying not to spoil it for you guys, but just know I'm gonna take you on a journey of my life
Sounds
in
like a
one
plan.
chapter.
In one chapter
In
of
one chapter, yes.
of your life. So tell us about the other authors and the vision behind the book, and how did you all get together, and the whole process and writing it and getting it to this point right here.
Okay, so first during the pandemic, um, to start off, when COVID first hit, I just experienced a lot of loss. So I was grieving. So I was like, okay, we stuck in the house, and I was like, okay, I began to write. Like I was writing just every day, and then it was just in my spirit to like other people need this as well, Janetta. And I lost my sister due to COVID as well, and she was in a
Mm.
nursing home. And she was one of my biggest fans. Like if I go to the nursing home, she like, do that poem for me, sis. You know the one I like. I used to be like, oh, simmer down, sis. And so and she used to always tell everybody I was her baby. So in honor of my sister, you know, I was writing, but I was writing funny stuff because she was funny. She loved when I did any type of poetry that was funny. Oh, she was like, oh, that's her, that was her. So what I did is I was working as a case manager at that time, so I shared with my team what I wanted to do. So I started doing drive-bys by nursing homes. What you mean a drive-by? I had my coworkers to drive by a nursing home, and I jump out with my Bluetooth and my speaker, and
Oh.
I had a wig, a gray wig on. I was, a duster, and I I recited poetry. I talked about Sister Corona. I can't stand you, but and I had like all type of different candy bars and stuff, and I made a poem like I can't help but snicker when I think about Sister Corona. And and the like the residents was able to come outside, and they was able to, I was able to pass out candy and stuff. And
Mm.
that was one thing that I did in my healing process of losing my sister. But moving forward, I was like, okay, what else I can do? Like my job had me zooming in for different teams to do things because the world was missing a good laugh as well, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so I began to host these seminars called The Right to Heal, WRITE. And I would just zoom in, and whatever the audience, I would recite poetry, and then I would have the audience to recite as well. And sometimes it'll go real deep, it'll be real serious, but then other times it could be laughter. But it just depends on the setting and how the spirit really move in the room. So I started hosting those, and I was doing that for free. I was doing that for free. However, God said your gift will make room for you.
Mm-hmm.
Agencies began to call me, organizations, and they was like, Janetta, how much you charge to host these seminars? I'm like, free, like I was just doing it for it had nothing else, like this is something I'm just giving back this way. And they was like, oh, well, let us know how much you charge. And so I called one of my mentors. I was like, but they asking me how much I charge, and I never charge for these seminars. It's something that I'm doing. And he said, ask them what is their budget. I said, oh, okay. So that's what I did. And Lord knows that I would have never asked for what I got paid for. And so I began to just host. I'll still host, for free. But those who had a budget, they paid me to do the Right to Heal seminars. So that's how the Right to Heal was birthed. And so then after I did so many seminars, it's just God put in my spirit to do this book, to share stories. Because I did a lot of the seminars for some blind organizations as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it was on my heart and I met some beautiful out of sight sisters during the pandemic. Each one of these ladies that's in this book, besides one, I met throughout the pandemic. Never seen them face to face until the Federation convention this past July. But we were zooming in together all over the world, and we began to just form this sisterhood. And so each lady I presented with an opportunity to be a part of this anthology. And I said, each lady that's a part of this anthology must be a visionary. Because you in order to put the work in, you got to believe in the project. So I was like, when I was talking to each one of the out of sight authors, I just wanted to make sure that they that they understood the vision and they believed in the vision. Because if you have a team of visionaries, this is what happens. Les Brown endorsed your book. This is what happened. I'm not from DC, but Bus Boys and Poets, I'm the featured poet on the 22nd. On the 24th, we hosting our first book signing. It's so funny. The manager from Bus Boys and Poets said, well, Janetta, do you have a manager? I say, no, baby, we doing this blind. But I know it's a time, it will be a time that I'm going to have to pass this to a management team. But for now, this is our humble beginnings. And I need visionaries that can do the work to get us to the next level. And I'm just not winning in this book. We all winning. We won. That's what I tell them, because this book is way bigger than us. This book is a book of motivation. It's not for the blind. It's for if you ever been blinded in life, this is the anthology for you.
Wow. Man, it's so riveting and captivating, and any other descriptive you can give to just your desire to win. We could be here all night talking about it, but you got things that you do with the National Federation of the Blind. How did you get into the NFB? How did you become the president of the community service? And tell us about those diamonds.
Okay. So I joined the Federation in 2012, actually. Someone in the disability office at the university was like, Janetta, you should go out for this scholarship. It's this blind organization. And, I was like, okay, cool. So I went out for the scholarship, and guess what?
You got it.
Of course not, right? But of course not, right? However, the local president reached out to me, and I ended up gaining the whole family, right? So I went to the local meeting, and I I was like, man, I thought I was the only blind person in my community, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so um, she became my mentor because I still, actually, that's when I ordered my first white cane. Um, she taught me, she graduated from LCB, and I was like in Gracie Jackson boot camp or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was loving every bit of it. And she was like, oh, convention is coming up, you should go. And I was like, okay, because I still didn't see another Janetta. I was looking for a blind black woman around my age that was living her best life out of sight. It was
Mm-hmm.
cool that I had a mentor now. And she was a little feisty, had a little spice about herself. So I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, but I need to see another Janetta. So I went to the national convention. It was in Dallas, Texas. And I seen first of all, I was scared, right? Because I never seen so many blind people in my life. I was like, oh my God, where did they come from? Right. And so, and then they was just rude. Some of them was bumping into me, and blindness does not excuse rudeness. I don't do that to this day.
Right.
But I ended up meeting some amazing, beautiful women. My mom went with me to my first convention and changed her perception of blindness as well. She knew that her baby girl was going to be okay. That was like it. And what it did for me, I did meet some Janettas, and
Some other
I never
use?
forget. I did meet
Wow.
this young lady. I never forget. We became really good friends, and I was like, "Hey, girl, you cute," And she was like, "Thank you." I said, "So, do you have some sight?" And she was like, "Girl, no, I'm blind. I was like, "Oh my God, you're so cute," And so I was just like, "Wow!" And they was, the women that I was running into, they was educated. I mean, they was very involved in the federation, in their community, and I was like, if they can do it, I
I
can
can
do
do
it.
it.
I know I could do it when I left there. So it just changed. I no longer was ashamed of my cane. It just like revived me. It motivated me to go home and go harder. And
Mm.
that's what I did. I was already feeling my way in my community, living my best life that I knew as a blind woman. But when I was connected with the Federation, it changed me. So I began to be very involved locally. And my president ended up moving. And and she just I ended up being vice president. I was like, oh, no, long as I'm under her, I'm okay. And then when she left, they said, Janetta, you the president. I said, well, chicken thunder. I don't know nothing about being no president of no organization, right? And so, my state president was like, Janetta, just be you. People love you. They will follow you. So
Mm-hmm.
when I end up having to stand as president, I say, look, I'm not no Gracie Jackson. I say,
Mm.
will I make mistakes? Yes. Will I learn from my mistakes? Yes. Will I serve with love? Yes. So let's do this. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, I was telling them. Because I'm learning, I'm growing into this blind organization. I don't know. So locally, I receive so much support and love. So I serve locally as as the president of the National Federation of the Blind of Texas Golden Triangle chapter. So
Mm.
that was my first position in the federation. So then convention went to Orlando,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm networking in the federation. Now they know that I'm a spoken word artist now, and so I was asked to speak at nationals for the diversity inclusion meeting. I think that was 2013, and that was the first time on a national platform that people was really introduced to Janetta Price. Then after that, I just continued to serve in my leadership role, help wherever I could, and I end up one of my Texas blind sisters introduced me to the community service division.
Mm.
So that's how I was introduced to community service. They was doing the fundraisers, and since I had a local connect with Kay's Jury, they was like, Janetta, could you get us some diamonds so we could do a fundraiser? And I was like, well, if I'm gonna get you diamonds, I'm gonna host this, I'm gonna be over this fundraiser. And that's how I end up with the community service division, helping them with a fundraiser, and was able to donate diamonds to the division, which cost us nothing. And we sold like tickets for $10 a ticket. And it was indeed a fundraiser. I tell people, fundraisers, you're supposed to raise funds, okay? And so that's how I got involved. After that, they was like, Janetta, we want you to join the board. You should be a board member, Janetta. And so then the following year, I went out for a board position. And then the following year, I became president in 2018 of the division, which was very humbling for me. And the people, they encouraged me because I wasn't not going to go for president. I was like, no, I don't want to go for president. They was like, Janetta, like, we want you to be the president. And so many people voted for me that it just really, like, it was like a choir, like, Janetta Price, oh, right?
And so you thought you was back in the choir now. You're like, oh, so he gave me a second chance.
Pass the collection plate, no, but it was very humbling that so many people really support me. And I tell people I'm a non-traditional type of leader. I lead with love. I believe that every great leader is a great follower. So when individuals join the division, I'm letting them know that you are a leader. So I'm ready to go to work. Like, what we doing? What's your strength? Like, okay, once I find that out, it's like, okay, I'm going to challenge you, because so many people challenge me along the way, So I don't believe in nobody just been stagnant. Like, no, we're going to grow. And since I've been in leadership of the community service division, we have truly grown and have been able to serve all over the world and make this impact in our community, and let people know that, we're just not on the receiving side, that blind individuals are big givers as well. And that's how we change what it means to be blind, by serving in our community. My mom, I tell people, I get it from my mama. My mom, we didn't have much growing up, but my mom, she cooked and she fed the whole project. Okay? Like, so many times we had different people living with us. We used to always be like, golly, mama, we barely making it over here, But I tell people, my mom is truly blessed. Her children they are truly blessed as well. So, my mom set the foundation for us to give, no matter what. So when you give, I'm not looking for nothing back, but it always come back because this year I won the Balatin Award. I was the top winner of the individual category for the Balatin Award. Wow. I was highly encouraged to go out for this award. I did not. I had, I just didn't even go out for awards. I didn't win that scholarship back in 2012. And I just never went out for another scholarship, And so then when they was like, Janetta, you are a blind innovator, Janetta. Your spoken word, everything you do, your company, you should go out for the Balatin Award. And I was obedient. And obedience goes a long way. So let's talk about obedience, right? Okay. So about 5 years ago, my doctor, my ophthalmologist, who I love so much, he always told me, Janetta, you're too young to give up on your sight. And so he will always send me to different doctors to try to get a contact fit. It never worked. And I always tell him how wrong he is. Like, Doc, I don't have surgeries to see better. I have surgery so I won't be in eye pain. What you're doing, Doc, you better be glad I love you. That's the only reason I'm going to these different doctors, right? Mm-hmm. However, 5 years ago, he said, Janetta, I have another doctor I want you to try out. I was like, oh, Doc, here we go again. I thought we was over there. Like, I'm living my best life out of sight. What you doing? So make a long story short, I went to this other doctor and the contact worked. I can't see out my left eye, but with that contact, I was able to see out my right eye 20/40. And I haven't seen myself in a mirror in over 15 years. So
Wow.
my doctor, when he insert the contact, I was like, oh my God, I can see you. He said, now look at yourself. Um, Fast forward, I was able to renew my get the driver's license. I purchased a car. It was all on my local news. And so many people said, Janetta, why are you still involved with the blind community? What I have is a contact. I still can't see out my left eye, but a contact, you take it out every night and you put it back on every morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have shared all over the world about this contact, and I know some of my blind brothers and sisters that received the contact, and they stopped being active in the blind community.
Mm.
But I'm walking in my purpose on purpose. And even though when I received that contact, I received rejection from the blind community and the sighted community.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself going back in that bed of depression because it was a sense of feeling of like I don't know where I belong anymore. Because now my blind family who I've been rocking with since 2012
Right.
saying I'm not blind enough, right?
Yep.
Which all I want to do is give them a ride at this time, okay? And so my the sighted people is like, how dare she get her sight back? Which I have to explain to people, it's the contact.
Mm.
Um, but I just thank God because that he kept me humble because in this last month has been challenging for me. Like I have cornea disease, right? I don't have a healthy cornea.
Mm-hmm.
So my cornea began to swell up. So I could no longer see. I could no longer I haven't used my contact in over a month, you know. However, in the last 7 days, the fog is removed from my eyes, but I'm still not using my contact. One thing that I do have that nobody can take away from me is blind skills.
Mm.
I thank God that I never said, "Oh, I can see better now." I don't want to have nothing to do with the blind. I'm not designed like that. And I just thank God because everything that I've been through, He brought me through.
Mm-hmm.
Every storm in my life, He brought me through. And I tell people, I have to realize like it's favor over my life. I've been through, like I said, when I was in high school, 10th grade, with the thyroid, 21 brain aneurysm, 25 over the side. He brought me through all that. He never left me in a storm. So I'm here today and I'm living my best life on purpose. And along the way, I'm bringing my out of sight brothers and sisters with me.
Mm. But you got blind girl magic, and what the guys doing? What we doing? We got to come up with something on our own.
Look, you guys always think everything is about you. I did make a Braille Rockstar shirt that, it's unisex, but my next shirt is unisex too. But real men wear pink because it's pink and it say put some respect on my cane.
Oh, see up in right there. See, boy, I got to get with you. You got the phrases, boy, and them phrases is selling. Do you hear me? Put some
They
respect.
sell
Now, how
it.
you spelling respect? Is you do
I
it?
need I need to put some what I need. Tell me what I need to do. But that's
Respect.
my next shirt.
Put some respect. Oh my god. Oh, I
Yes.
love it.
They're
I
gonna put us
won't.
out. And then I also have straight out of sight. Like, straight out of Compton
Nah,
shirt, straight out of sight.
I take them and
But
put
put
some
some
respect on
respect
my
on my
cane.
cane.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want the first
And
print. I got to get
I
that.
got you.
All right.
I
Yeah.
got you.
Fun
So
show. So, darn, man, we could go so deep. We just had to get you back. But I do want to ask you. I feel like I'm not talking in the mic. I ain't talking. I ain't even, boy. Okay, here we go. I done got so
get it
enthralled.
together.
Right. So, entrepreneur. You work now as a lender. You're involved in the community. But how did you start your business? What was the brief process in that and getting it up and running to help people who are visually impaired or anyone that just wants to start a business and be profitable?
Okay, so this is how I accidentally became an entrepreneur, right?
Mm.
Which I come from a family of entrepreneurs as well, but I wasn't even worried about being an entrepreneur. I seen this flyer. It says Black Girls Rock Social Mixer in Houston, Texas, right?
Mm.
And I was like, what? We going there. So I called some of my blind sisters from different states and I was like, hey, we going to this event because we need some blind representation at this Black Girls Rock. We got that Black Girl Magic. I was just so pumped up, right?
Mm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm a designer some shirts and it's going to say Blind Girl Magic, right?
Mm.
So that was my first shirt. So it was like about 7. It was my sisters and some of my friends came from different states. I had everybody's shirts. Everybody wore red shirts and it was Blind Girl Magic. It was blingy. It was all my personality, right? So we get to this event and one of the organizers say, hey, they tell me you the one that, that I need to talk to about this Blind Girl Magic shirt. How can I support? Like, she was like, I like it. I think it's fly. I was like, she was like, so where can I get the product? I was like, I'm not selling no shirts. I was like, I just wanted us to represent and be cute, right?
Right.
So she was like, I like your shades too, sis. She was like, oh, so you selling sunglasses? I was like, no. She said, so you at a Black Girl Magic social mixer networking and you don't have no product. I don't know this woman's name. And I looked at her, I said, well, you know what? I promise you, I will do better. Like she planted that seed.
Mm-hmm.
And so not only that, one of my good friends that was with us, she is really a beast when it comes to networking. Now I'm sitting up there like still trying to process that this woman just checked me at this event, right? and it's really, you got to be really good if you make me quiet. You have me to simmer down. I was like,
right.
She was right, So I'm over there minding my business now because I'm like, you know what? I got a game plan when I leave here. And then all of a sudden they say, Janetta Price, come to the mic. She's going to perform. I'm like, what? And so I performed at that event as well. So I began to network. So I went back home and I networked with a local vendor. I say, listen, I want 100 of these shirts. I said, I have a convention coming up. It was in Vegas. I said, I want 100 shirts. So I said, I'm pretty good at math. So watch your numbers. So how we can make a deal we both win. So me and her got together. We agreed upon a price. I took 100 shirts to National Convention in Vegas and sold out like in 3 days. No vendor, just word of mouth. People was calling me. The staff brought shirts. I sold out. The 4th day, I think, I ended up jumping on the flight because the weather was bad and went home. People were still calling me. Like, I want Black Girl Magic gear. And it was just like, and I said, oh my God, what then happened? And so then one of my friends called me and said, girl, you need to go on Facebook because people posting Blind Girl Magic and stuff. And I'm really not a social media person. So I was like, I went on Facebook. I seen all those girls like hashtagging Blind Girl Magic. I said, oh my God. And so I created a page. I had to go to my local city, to the county, do my DBA, doing business as Blind Girl Magic. Then I had to go rush do my LLC, Blind Girl Magic LLC. So actually, I had to catch up with Blind Girl Magic because Blind Girl Magic was created. It took out, and I was like, whoa! And then, like I was rocking Blind Girl Magic gear throughout the convention. My sisters, it was just a beautiful thing. And then I ended up being booked to do to be the featured poet for Washington D.C. And they was like, "And come with your Blind Girl Magic gear, Janetta." Like it was just like it was a celebration for us, like something that we had to be proud of. And I was just like, wow, Blind Girl Magic is a movement. It goes beyond a business. It's a movement because man, we're no longer in that space. We're no longer 25-year-old Janetta, like in the house, depressed. I want the 25 Janetta to know that you don't have to be ashamed. We got this Blind Girl Magic gear, and that's one way I give back is that, like, I have a young lady that I need to go see this week, locally. And I told her about the blind, bougie, and beautiful shirt. She's 35, 36. She's recently losing sight, and she's really going through a hard time. It's a grieving process, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I talked to her, I cried with her, and before we got off the phone, we was laughing like we've been knowing each other forever. I'm like, girl, you my little sister. And I said, I'm going to bring you a blind and bougie shirt. She was like, yes, please do. Because, like, baby, you might have lost sight, but you still have so much life. And I was like, when I thought my life was over, I sit back and I think about how God know He have a sense of humor, because He's like, girl, you got a whole life ahead of you. Like, what's wrong with you, you know?
Right.
And so I just really thank God for the movement and what Blind Girl Magic stand for, and how we can be proud and rocking our blackness, our blindness, you know, that we can be proud of that, you know. So that's what Blind Girl Magic, and that's how I became an entrepreneur. Accidentally became an entrepreneur. I had to catch up with Blind Girl Magic, but she started off as a vision. I had a
Mm.
vision of this shirt, and I activated. I created it. I didn't know that I was, you know, this was going to turn into a company. I didn't know that. That same company is why I won this Balatin Award as well, for the work I do. You know, so many people that tell me, Janetta, we know this young lady that's struggling. And so, yeah, I'm going to give her a call. I recite poetry to her. I pray with her. I laugh with her. I send her Blind Girl Magic gear. And it's Blind Girl Magic. It's the gift that keep giving. You
Mm-hmm.
know, do you know I have so many of my blind brothers that purchase gear for like blind women all over the world? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like they love Blind Girl Magic, so they like, Janetta, you make my list easy, you know. So can you
Mm-hmm.
send this person, that person? Yes. I love it. Like, one of my blind brothers, shout out to Marlon. It was a young lady, Miss Ann, and she is a recipient of a liver transplant,
Mm-hmm.
and he contacted me and asked me to send her a Blind Girl Magic shirt. She loved the shirt. Do you know she gave me a call, and we've been connected ever since then. I love Miss Ann. She buy every one of my shirts. So I love her. She's an author as well, you know, and I mean, this woman is truly out of sight. So I love it that Blind Girl Magic, I have schools for the blind contacting me. They buy, you know, like 20 shirts, 20, 30 shirts at a time. So I just thank God for the vision and the
Mm-hmm. Janetta, how much is
visionary.
these shirts?
Pre-orders are 20. If you don't pre-order, it's 25. But pre-orders is 20. I really encourage people to pre-order. But once I go to DC, I'm sell shirts for $20. Like, I have exclusive Blind Girl Magic bags. Anytime I perform, I'm gonna have like a special Blind Girl Magic where you can only get it if you was at the live
Look
show.
at this, right, boy. Let me ask you this, and I promise you, I'll be trying to end this interview. So, do you? And when I say the word star, I'm not saying your attitude and all of that. You've been a star since you was a little kid, but do you feel yourself turning into this star, this superstar, this thing larger than life?
I believe that on purpose, I'm gonna be whatever God want me to be, and I'm open to it. A lot of times, and I'm gonna say for me, I would suppress my glow because I knew it intimidated other people.
Mm,
But the season is now.
mm.
If you got a problem with my glow up, then that's between you and God. So I'm gonna be wherever God want me to be,
Mm. Yeah,
unapologetically.
that marketing plan is is genius. It's you just don't see it in our community. It's like a whole other level and thought and purpose behind it. I'm amazed, and I don't follow people because they how you anywhere. But I'm with you, sister,
Yeah,
sister.
I
With
appreciate the love.
you for sure. Um, I did have one other question. It was along the lines of you being. Oh, so how do you stay grounded with all this top flight you got going on?
You keep your circle with out of sight women, out of sight support that's gonna keep you grounded. So every day, every day is not. Like I tell people, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, but I strive for perfection. And anything I do, I give it my all. So anybody that know me, they know that even when I was in college, I never forget the classmates would say, Janetta, I'm a part of your team. I'm like, I don't have a team. They was like, yes, you do. We got this assignment coming up. I'm like, wait a minute, because they was like, we know you're gonna do the most, But like,
You gonna
but
get
like
it
I say,
in.
my mom always taught me like, you know, if you're gonna do something, give it your all.
Yep,
Like that was understood in our household.
for
She didn't
sure.
play no games. And so anytime I do something, anytime I've been on a job, have really excelled. I worked as a behavior specialist at a local high school, and I kind of created my own position. And every time I try to quit or not renew my contract, they give me more money. And I was like, okay, I'm going back to my classroom, right? Because they was like, I don't know, it's not another Miss Price. So I'm gonna give my all in everything that I do, and I owe that to my upbringing. My mom worked hard, and everything that she did, it was in the church, at her job. Um, my father was a hardworking man. I lost my dad when I was in the ninth grade, but he really showed me how a man supposed to treat a woman. I was his little princess. He never spanked me or any of that old bad stuff, right? But my mom used to always say, maybe if your daddy would have spanked you once, I wouldn't have to spank you so much, right? so, so I was that daddy's little girl that did no wrong, and I acknowledge that in my book as well. But just staying grounded is just staying humble, and just being around, you know, the people in your circle that's gonna make sure you stay humble as well. So that's how I stay grounded.
And that's all she got to say for right now about that.
Yes.
Janetta, I really, 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 really appreciate the interview. I appreciate you taking the time out our precious day, time that we cannot get back, to spend it with
Amen.
me and our audience. So we want to help, and it's willing workers. Tell us about that. Tell us how we can reach you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay. Well, the NFB Community Service Division, we always looking for willing workers. If you have a heart and a love and a desire to give back and serve in your community, even if you don't know how that looks, but if you have a heart and a love for it, just reach out to me. When we talk about the community service, just a little bit, I want to highlight the community service, but the willing workers is a committee which serve as the heartbeat of the division. Let me share with you what the willing workers accomplished this season. We sold over $20,000 worth of popcorn
Mm,
for our fundraiser in 4 days. So that means we received a $10,000 check, right? We
mm,
was able to give back to Ohio, which has a community service committee. We was able to bless them. We was able to also gift a blind young mother, and so she can come to convention with her 3 kids. We was able to give scholarships in honor of Star. She's from in Star in Tamika Butts. I'm not sure you're familiar with them. Both of them passed last year. Two of my blind sisters that I was very close with, we was able to give scholarships in honor of their legacy as well. In honor they like Star mom was at convention as well. We was able to bless her with a stipend as well. So like community service division, like it's the gift that keep giving as well. And I do believe bless people, and I tell people we have so much to give, so much to give. And if you have a heart and a love and a desire to give, just contact me. I think everybody have my phone number. It's on the NFB website. Call me. I would love for you to get involved because we always looking like it was standing room only. It was
Mm-hmm.
standing room only at our seminar. And like I say, but just know that we serve with love. Anything less than is unacceptable. Okay. So many people came back and told me like that was the best seminar they attended. We had Marvin, which one of the board members, he was playing all type of music, had a playlist. We was registered people. It was just so much fun and so much love. So that's who the community service division is. We're a family. And I just told them that today. I said, not only is we're a division, but we're a family. Now that's the difference, you know. So if you're looking for a safe place to serve and get involved in the federation, the NFB Community Service Division is the place to be. You down with CSD? Yeah, you know me.
I love it. I love it. Listen, man, even in the Bible, it says he will make you the lender and not the borrower. And guess what? She is a lender. She is giving out tens of thousands of dollars. She is giving away diamonds. Her business is supporting her vision. She gets to be her and get paid for being her. She gets to help people. She gets to be a go-giver and a go-getter. I love it. It's a person after my own heart. You guys know I believe in empowerment, a mechanism by which individuals, groups, and communities, community service division, gain mastery over their affairs. So, Janetta, again, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
tell the world goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.
Light flares moving over black backdrop. The word empowerment in orange, all uppercase, appears behind the flares. Underneath the word empowerment, in white lettering, also behind the flares, is a mechanism by which individuals, groups, and communities gain mastery over their affairs. Light flares fade. A transparent mirror image of the words are also underneath.